Hi, I'm Allison Myers with Lantech, and today I have Jim Lancaster, CEO of Lantech, and he's going to answer 5 good questions about lean management. Welcome, Jim.
Glad to be here.
Great. So I'm going to ask you question number 1. What is lean management and why is it important?
Lean management is really the process of taking the standardized work tools that we use with operators and applying them to management's work. And the reason it's so important is that operators who are building machines or are processing quotes or doing most any job in an operation need support to be able to do that job successfully. And what standardized management or lean management does is it puts in place a standard process for the manager to ensure that that operator can do his job successfully every day. And if he does it well today, that he can do it just as well tomorrow. And once that's stabilized, then what we try to do is put an improvement process in place that manager can manage so that process continually gets better day after day.
So what are some of the key principles of lean management?
The first key thing about lean management is that it's about supporting the operator. So many of us in management end up setting up processes that have information delivered to us as a manager. And the reality is we need the work providing visuals, and then the manager's job is to look at those visuals and decide, what do I need to support that operator so he can do better at what he's doing, or it can the performance level can be better, as opposed to what do I need to manage. It's more, what do I need to support that operator. So the first one is it's all about the operator. The second principle that's really, really important is this is all about focusing on the work. And what I mean the work, when I say the work, it's about the actual operation that this operator is doing, whether it's a salesperson actually preparing for a sales call and doing a sales call, or it's a operator actually building a machine. So it's about that work and what we need to do about that work. The third principle that I would say is that the same things that work for standardized work for lean management. A set cadence of when you do it, a set sequence of steps that you do during the day to operate as a manager, a set starting point and an ending point.
Great. So what are some of the critical things people should think about when implementing lean management system?
I think a few things. I think when you're putting a lean management system in place, you have to understand what the key business issues are that are going on in an operation. And then we want to put lean management in on top of those core problems or core issues that we've got going on first. Because when we do that, we can prove its value and actually make a difference to the business rather than add a whole lot of busy work into the management system. So let's first focus on key business issues. The second thing is setting up the data or the information that's needed to come straight out of the work. And by doing that, we don't add actually work to these operators we're trying to support by putting a management system in place.
So what's the hardest thing about implementing lean management?
There's a lot of hard things. The most difficult is breaking the habit that a lot of us have of going in when there's a problem and trying to figure out who needs to be judged or whose fault it is, as opposed to trying to really find out what's gone wrong in the process that's not allowing this operator to be successful. And that's a hard lesson that we have to learn over and over and over again to be able to execute well. So that's difficult. I also think that as managers, we have to understand the work that our operators are doing. And until we can understand that work, our ability to really support them and make them successful is not very good. So we have to really have those basics first.
So what's the difference between management and leadership, and how do you allocate your time between the both?
Well, there's probably 100 different definitions, but my definition is management is about maintaining the current condition or holding on to the performance we had yesterday or last month, today or this month first. And then if we get really, really good as managers at maintaining that current condition, then we can actually use the time to improve, as opposed to the inevitable firefight that most managers end up in. So that's really what management's about. Leadership really is about setting direction and then getting folks to follow. And making decisions and setting direction are very, very important when something in the environment changes. But that happens every so often, not every day. Management is what happens every single day. And if you're a good leader and you can set direction and get people to follow, but the management system's not there to hold the direction, then the whole leadership direction isn't giving you any value. So you have to have a strong management process in place so that when you change direction or go off in a direction with your leadership, you've actually got a car that can steer in that direction. So that's kind of the difference in my mind between management and leadership.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Jim, for your time. And that was Jim Lancaster for 5 Good Questions.